The revelation of a mysterious lagoon near the Dead Sea alarms the people of Jordan and Israel since it's a surprising find. The Jordan Rift Valley is home to the Dead Sea, sometimes known as the Salty Sea, a sizable endorheic lake. A drainage basin called an endorheic lake is one that normally holds water but does not extend or flow to other bodies of water, such as rivers and seas. Some of the greatest lakes in the world, including the Caspian Sea, which is regarded as the largest inland body of water, are found in these basins, also known as closed or terminal basins. What's been found in this lifeless sea then? And why was this discovery thought to be an omen that the world was about to end? Stay tuned as we explore the horrifying, illogical discovery that was made in Jordan today. The word dead in the name of the Dead Sea does not make it a particularly alluring location that's worthwhile traveling to. But did you know that despite its moniker, the Dead Sea is regarded as one of the planet's most well-known bodies of water and is known as a legendary spring of life because of its amazing healing powers? So where precisely is this Sea of Magic? The enormous African-Syrian divide between Jordan and Israel contains the Dead Sea, which is located in the Mediterranean region. The sole major water source that enters the Dead Sea is the Jordan River, often known as the River Jordan. Even though the Dead Sea is surrounded by small, intermittent springs that result in the development of quicksand pits along its edges, these springs do not have any outlet streams. The people of Jordan and Israel are thrown into a state of panic after learning about a mysterious lagoon that's located close to the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea, also known as the Salty Sea, is a large endorheic lake that's located in the Jordan Rift Valley. An endorheic lake is a drainage basin that typically retains water but does not extend to terminal basins. These bodies of water include between Jordan and Israel are the Dead Sea, which is located in the Mediterranean region and is a part of the huge African-Syrian rift. Although there are small recurrent springs underneath and around the Dead Sea that cause the formation of quicksand pits along the sea's edges, there are no outlet streams for these springs. The Jordan River, also known as the River Jordan, is the only primary source of water that flows into the Dead Sea. Although it's not nearly as well known as the Dead Sea, the Jordan River is located in the Middle East and is approximately 251 kilometers long. It travels from north to south, past the Sea of Galilee before emptying into the Dead Sea. This river holds significant importance in both Judaism and Christianity. In the biblical canon, it's mentioned that the Israelites crossed the Jordan River in order to enter the Promised Land. It's also proclaimed that it was this river that Jesus of Nazareth was baptized by John the Baptist. So what exactly caused an uproar in Jordan and Israel only recently? Jordanian authorities started an intensive investigation after a pool of water beside the Dead Sea turned blood red. Not only did this pool of water cause Moses to indicate that Aaron's direction should be taken, Aaron then stretched his rod onto the Nile River and turns the Egyptian waters into the blood to convince the Pharaoh to allow the Israelites to leave Egypt. All the fish in the river died, and the Egyptians could not drink from the bloody river. When the Egyptians dug around the river for spring, all they found were bloody springs. The Dead Sea and the Jordan River have always maintained major significance in religious beliefs, so when a pool of water befalls either of these verses in the book of Revelation describes one of the plagues that God will send out into the world when the Battle of Armageddon takes place. Before the strange event that took place in Jordan, the Alexander River, which is also a river located in Israel, not only changed color in the water, but also carried blood along its stream, causing a major environmental disaster that lasted for weeks. This is because of the Alexander River, which turns the width of Israel from the hills of Nablus on the west bank to the hills of Jerusalem. People in the region of Palestine and Israel who heavily relied on the water from the polluted river, their water source, experienced the same fate as the Egyptians during the Plague of Blood during the 10 plagues of Egypt, which occurred when the Nile River turned into blood. The 10 plagues of Egypt consisted of water turning to blood, frogs, hail, and locusts. In the region of Palestine and Israel, the people experienced the same fate as the Egyptians during the Plague of Blood: lice flies, livestock pestilence boils, while many questions arose as a result of the blood-colored lagoon adjacent to the Dead Sea. Various theories emerged ranging from religious to scientific in nature. Many religious believers said the location of the red-colored pool represented God's expression of justice on those who refused to believe in Him and repent. Hail, locusts, darkness, and the killing of the firstborn children, with all the plagues representing God's expression of justice on those who refuse to accept God's justice. Both Sodom and Gomorrah were infamously wicked cities, teeming with wicked inhabitants as a direct result of the horrendous sins that the residents of both cities committed. Abraham was the one who received the revelation from God that the two towns were going to be destroyed because of their wicked crimes. Abraham beseeched God to spare not just the lives of the righteous people who lived in the cities, but also the lives of his own family. As a result of Abraham's efforts, God agreed to bargain with him, despite the fact that God had initially decided to spare the cities. If Abraham were to discover 50 virtuous people living there, God would be merciful enough to spare them in both cities. If Abraham was successful in finding 10 righteous people after their agreement, then the two angels who appeared as men were dispatched to Sodom. However, they were opposed by a wicked crowd, and when they discovered that Abraham's nephew Lot and his family were the only good people in the two cities, the angels quickly warned Lot and his family to flee the city of Sodom as soon as possible because the wicked cities were going to be destroyed by sulfur and fire to punish the sinful people who lived there for their serious transgressions. The angels cautioned them not to turn around once they had left the city, but Lot and his family fled the city without paying attention to the angels' advice and were killed in the ensuing catastrophe. When Lot's wife turns around to look at the city, she is instantly transformed into a pillar of salt. Historically, Sodom and Gomorrah were probably located underneath or close to the shallow waters south of Al-Assan, a former peninsula in the center part of the Dead Sea. Today, this peninsula completely separates the sea's northern and southern basins. The peninsula was thought to have been destroyed by an earthquake in 1900 BCE, which caused a massive geolithic rift extending southward from the Jordan River Valley to the Zambezi River system situated in eastern Africa. However, modern archaeologists have come forward with evidence proving that the area where the two fabled cities once stood was fertile in the Middle Bronze Age, approximately 2000 to 1550 BCE, because of the fertile land and the fresh water that flowed out into the Dea River. Mount Sodom, a mountain that sits atop the southwestern end of the Dead Sea, reflects Sodom's name. However, the destruction that Sodom once commenced in the Dead Sea did not strip the body of water of all of its capabilities despite its name. The Dead Sea is a hypersaline lake that initially used to be a part of an ancient, much larger lake that extended into the Sea of Galilee. So why was this lake called the Dead Sea? It's primarily called the water levels began to fall in the late 20th century and continued into the 21st century, which resulted in a dramatic change in the appearance of the Dead Sea. A strip of dry land now separates the lake's northern and southern basins. The northern basin, which is now the actual Dead Sea, was able to maintain its overall dimensions despite losing a significant amount of water, with its shoreline plunging downward from the surrounding landscape and the note of the mysterious red-colored lagoon approximately adjacent to the waters coming from the lagoon brought to mind the biblical plague of blood. Still, experts believe there may be a far more earthly explanation for this phenomenon. Although a great deal of research has been conducted on the subject, the head of the Al-Qur'an Council's Water and Architecture Committee, Fatih Al-Hoamel, maintains that they are still working on discovering the origins of the Blood Red Lagoon. According to spokespersons for Jordan Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Omar Solmek, the underlying cause of the Red Sea crisis have not yet been explained and remain a mystery at this time. However, there have been a few theories put forward as to why a pool of water that is isolated from fresh water would turn red. Colors may undergo a remarkable transformation. One of these hypotheses proposed that a particular strain of bacteria and red algae found in hypersaline waters, both of which alter their appearance in response to the presence of light, are responsible for the color shift. However, this theory does not explain why the lagoon's water changed in color while the surrounding bodies of water remained the same, particularly given that these waters are located in an area with year-round sunshine. As of today, the strange phenomenon continues to be a mystery. It's fortunate that scientists are still researching the matter in order to determine its root cause. However, what are your thoughts on the matter? Do you think the blunt red waters remain unexplained because it's a sign from God, or could it be due to something scientific and earth-based? What do you think about the video? Please let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification before leaving. Thank you for watching.